Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament of the Christian Bible. I used my great uncle King James's version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel. It had the perfect translation. It speaks the language of my people perfectly, which is why it was written that way, for me to use. Now today, I'm doing my chit chat video. I don't know what you want to call this one. They're just me talking. I want to talk about the fact that as I'm reading the prophecy, or the book to you, I'm seeing clarity in events. Now, when I wrote this last year, the end of last year, up through February, I was looking at it from a not COVID-19 perspective. I was looking at it from a not George Floyd Taylor perspective. But I did have the Trump thing pretty much now. I knew Trump was being impeached at the time when I started doing the heavy writing on the Pot Smoker's Bible. So I was looking at it from that perspective. Oh, what a few months makes. What a difference a few months makes. Which is what I want to talk about today. Because at the time when I wrote the prophecy, I considered the consumption decreed to be cancer. I didn't know that there was going to be a COVID-19. And I assumed that the righteousness that was associated with the consumption was the fact that we smoke pot and damage our lungs. That is like a sacrifice that we make in order to be high. We know it damages us, but the high does more good to us than the damage we do to ourselves. But I thought that that was the overflowing of righteousness, was getting high from smoking pot. And that's the way the book reads. But in light of COVID-19, that is so the consumption decree that doesn't just affect people who smoke pot or cigarettes or people who are subjected to pollution, people who get cancer. I didn't realize that the consumption decreed was the pandemic. Now, the pandemic was already starting when I wrote my book. As I was writing this text, the coronavirus was making its way into the human genome and making people sick in China. But I did not know that. So, in light of current events, I have to present the book. I want to present the book in the way that I wrote it because it is still true that you smoke pot, especially if you smoke cigarettes and live in a city, you get cancer from it. So that consumption that is decreed from the damage that we have done to ourselves is still valid in that sense. But COVID-19 is obviously the consumption decree because it is worldwide. Everybody, smoking, non-smoking, rural, city, pollution doesn't matter. Bam, COVID-19 is the consumption decree. Now, that is not to say that the Gray planted COVID-19 to kill people. That's not what that means. What it means is that we have passed a line we're not supposed to pass with our population, pollution, lack of nutritious food. We set ourselves up for this. Now, if we had a good diet that wasn't poisonous, we wouldn't have COVID 19. If we didn't have obesity as a result of the lack of nutrition in the poison that we eat, we wouldn't have COVID 19. If you, or some of you, didn't go to the doctor every time you had a sniffle and take a pill to get rid of a sniffle, you would have an immune system that is capable of defending itself against a virus that it has never encountered before. Healthy people can do it easy. It's not a problem. But people who compromise their immune systems are subjected to any and every virus that happens. So when COVID struck, every idiot who junks foods out and has not eaten their veggies, has not eaten their fruits, y'all are dying in droves. We did this to ourselves. It's not the Greys' fault, but they foresaw it coming. Because the more our population expands, the more we get into the darker wilderness, the deeper places in the earth where things that we've never encountered still reside. And that is dangerous to a population that has no immune system. If you want to survive COVID, go out and start eating. Well, okay, it's too late. Our vegetables are contaminated. Our fruit is contaminated. If it didn't come out of your garden or an organic garden, it's killing you. It's killing me. I still eat my fruits and vegetables, even though they've got poison on them, because they still have more nutrition than the crap out of the box or the can. Okay, so that's one aspect of the prophecy that's fulfilling itself as we speak. The second one is Black Lives Matter. My people are literally in the streets demanding justice for the brutality of the police state. And that's exactly what the prophecy predicts. That is the righteousness that is overflowing the consumption decree. The deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all the rest is the righteousness that is overflowing as a result of the consumption decree COVID 19. So, my people being in the streets demanding justice for the brutality of the police is exactly what the prophecy predicts. So, that is the righteousness that overflows the consumption decree. That's Black Lives Matter, my people. But please, people, I pray to every God of the earth, God or goddess of the earth, no matter your faith, no matter your religion, please get off the streets now. Please. Survive this winter. Because QAnon and all the white supremacists are going to try to overthrow the United States government when Trump loses. Between November 3rd and January 20th is going to be the darkest, deadliest days in the history of the United States. I guarantee you that without moment's hesitation or doubt. How deadly it becomes is dependent on one thing and one thing only: whether or not my people stay home. Because if my people, the drug users, the Black Lives Matter, the poor, the destitute, those who are being brutalized by the police, if you will go home, get off the streets, tuck yourselves in, stay safe, wear your masks, don't go out unless you absolutely have to, then the Republicans, with all the white supremacists and QAnon bullshit, can try their uprising with Trump. And the Democrats and the United States government will stand up and take him out. Let the United States government deal with its own problems. You go home, get off the street, stay safe, wear your mask, don't go out unless you absolutely have to. If you can afford to stockpile food for the winter, do it. Personally, I can't, because I have a job. I feed truck drivers. It's my job. And I'm not going to stop doing it. Because people need to eat. People need their toilet paper. And my job is to feed them. So I'm an essential worker, and I'm going to keep working through this deadly dark winter. And I'm going to try to see to it that my truck drivers have the means to get from here to there, and amongst all of the things that are going to be happening. And God, please may the Great watch over each and every one of us as we face the horrific death toll of COVID-19 thanks to Trump and his no mask campaign and all his rallies. That man is responsible for more deaths at this moment. He's responsible for more deaths than anybody save probably Hitler and Napoleon. And he's just getting started. I personally blame him for every single death since April. Because in April, if he would have done the right thing, our death toll would have dropped. And I guarantee you, if you go camping with me next spring on 420, we will end COVID, period. Because we will do the hard thing. We will do the right thing. We'll wear our masks. We'll quarantine ourselves in our encampments. The only people who will go amongst us are those who are distributing food and necessary supplies, period. And we will stay there, and we will do that until COVID no longer exists in our community. And only when every single person in our community has been tested and tested negative for a consecutive 14 days, then and only then will we open our camp within our camp. Then and only then will we be safe enough to call on the Gray and have them come. And we will stay in that camp until COVID-19 has its way with the rest of humanity. Because the consumption decreed is COVID-19. And it is about to devastate this world's population. So may the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm, and may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Stay happy and high. Follow your heart. Do what makes you happy. Know that I love you. Stay safe, stay happy, stay high. Later. I'll never say goodbye.